Living in Mexico the last few years, we've had more and more people reaching out to us to ask about investment opportunities here in Mexico so that they can globally diversify their assets. In this video, I'm sharing what we've seen on the ground here in Mexico, and some of these might shock you. Welcome to Entrepreneur Expat. I'm Justin, and on this channel, we talk about everything to do with global diversification, getting second passports, or maybe even third passports in another country, or your residency for now, investing in businesses and real estate and so many other things around the globe. We work with a lot of high net worth individuals and help them do just that. So if that's something you're interested in, then make sure you subscribe to this channel and help us out by giving it a like, a thumbs up. Let us know that you like our content, and also help us with the YouTube algorithm god so that we can reach more people and help more expats and aspiring expats. And we actually have a free guide as well if you're interested in moving abroad. It's called our Moving Abroad Checklist, and you can get that at the link below this video. And if you're serious about moving to another country, whether it's Mexico or somewhere else in the world in the near future, then you should definitely book a call with myself or our team at entrepreneurexpat.com/consult, because in order to access a lot of the opportunities that we're going to talk about in this video, you actually need Mexican residency. You've got to have your residency here. You've got to have an RFC or a tax ID number. And so that's part of the process that we have. We've got comprehensive white glove services where we help you establish residency in Mexico or in many other countries as well. We'll get your tax ID number, get your bank account set up, and allow you to access some of these global investment opportunities, whether or not you actually want to move to Mexico or elsewhere full-time right now. It doesn't matter. You take advantage of a lot of the arbitrage potentials. You have a safe plan B for you and your family. So go to entrepreneurexpat.com/consult, and we can help you get that all set up. So the first opportunity I'd like to talk about here in Mexico, and by the way, we are not certified financial advisors. Always check with your financial and legal professionals before making any decisions about investments. We're not sharing specific opportunities here. We're just talking about our personal opinions and experience. Important disclaimer. Okay, so first thing that we're going to talk about here is real estate. So this is the most obvious and also the most well-known for foreigners investing in Mexico, because depending on the area, you can get some really, really good returns in terms of appreciation of properties. You can also get a lot of cash value through rentals. In fact, right here in our condo complex, we've got people that we're helping manage short-term and mid-term rentals for. So if you've got income right now, maybe it's not passive income, you're just making money from a high-paying job. You've got a six-figure or even a seven-figure salary, or you've got a business. You can start to put a lot more of that cash flow on autopilot if you invest it into real estate, and you can do vacation rentals and things like that, and even have people like us or others that are in different areas help manage those things for you and make those things cash flow. So obviously you need to do the proper due diligence. This is super, super important. We've actually heard of a lot of people that had issues that have potentially lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they bought a property that literally the person that was selling it did not have even the title to. They could not sell that property, yet they claimed that it was their property, and these people got screwed out of a lot of money. So one of the things that we actually include in several of our white glove relocation packages is legal consultations with attorneys based here in Mexico. In some cases they're in Guadalajara, in some cases they're in other cities, depending on where you're looking at investing, but they're going to help you actually do the title searches and work with notaries locally and things like that to make sure that you don't get scammed, because you can get scammed on real estate anywhere, but in the US, there's a lot more regulation, and that's good and bad for different reasons. But in Mexico, you have to really cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure that you're finding opportunities that are actually legit. So our team can absolutely help that. I can help with that. So entrepreneurexpat.com/consult is where you can learn more about that and potentially work with our team as well. So have the right team in place to do the due diligence. Obviously, you've got to make sure that the paperwork is in the right place. You don't want to cheap out and just say, you know what, I'm going to do it myself and I'll figure it out and I'll Google and ChatGPT and whatever. It's not a good idea. You want to work with our trusted real estate and professionals and lawyers and notaries and all that. So you don't need residency to buy a property in Mexico. This is one of the few things we'll talk about where you actually don't need residency necessarily first before you buy a property here. You definitely can buy as a tourist. Obviously, there are some restrictions if you're near a cenote or an international border or a coastline, specifically the ocean, then you're going to need to have either citizenship in Mexico or you're going to need a bank trust, a fideicomiso. But most other real estate you can buy as a tourist. Now, the challenge with that, though, is that you're going to end up potentially paying taxes on the entire value of the property when you sell it. Because unless you have residency or citizenship and also take advantage of certain tax write-offs and deductions and things, the Mexican government is going to give you a hefty tax bill when you sell. That's another reason that we highly, highly recommend talking to professionals about this. And the other thing is, when you actually do become a Mexican citizen, which we also help people do, especially if you've got, let's say, a parent or a spouse that's Mexican, you can get your citizenship fairly quickly in as little as a few years. In fact, as little potentially as 2 to 3 years or even sooner than that. So you can buy international properties here on the coast and around certain restricted zones as a citizen without needing to pay a bank trust or anything like that. So we can help you get that citizenship. Or if you're just American, you can still get Mexican citizenship in about 5 or 6 years, just like we're planning on doing here soon. As always, consult your advisors, consult your professionals. We can connect you with some through our consults as well. And you really want to be in a position where, let's say you buy a property overseas, and you want to live there. If there's another thing that happens, for example, another global pandemic or similar type of scenario where people are getting locked out of countries, you want to have residency, because owning a property in another country alone is not enough to have you be let into that country in the case that things do get shut down. Now, the cool thing with Mexico is that even during the pandemic, they did not really close the borders much, but you never know, right? So it's better to have residency. We can actually help you get that, like I said. Always better to be safe than sorry. So another thing, and not too many people talk about this, because in fact, a lot of people in Mexico don't even know about this because it's a little bit less of a commonly known thing, but interest on bank accounts, and especially the fintech brands. So for example, Nu is a bank that we personally have, and they're giving interest as high as 15 or 16% up to a few $1,000s of invested capital, and then it's something like 9% after that. So there are bank accounts and fintechs here paying double-digit percentages, up to 15% or sometimes even higher. And you can compare that to 3 or 4% in the U.S. if you're lucky and have an online savings account. So Nu is recommended highly by a lot of our Mexican friends, so we're checking that out. They're based in Brazil, but they're in the process now. They've got the financial services registration, but they're in the process now of getting the proper bank registration in Mexico. So it is a reasonably secure thing. As always, consult your professionals, your advisors, and whatnot. But that's one of the safer investments. Another thing that works really well here is peer-to-peer lending. Because the capital markets are so much tighter here in Mexico than in other parts of the world, you can get up to 16, 17, sometimes 18% through platforms like Yo Te Presto. We'll include a link, an affiliate link for that in our video here, where we'll get like a small commission. They'll give us, I think it's like $15 or $20 if you sign up for that peer-to-peer lending platform. But Yo Te Presto is one for sure, and there's other peer-to-peer lending platforms in Mexico and in other countries for sure. But these are some of the platforms we've seen pay the highest. Sure, there's a little bit of risk. As always, you want to diversify and put $30 or $40 into 100 different loans, and you do need residency for this in order to have that new account and in order to have the peer-to-peer lending like we mentioned. Silver is another thing that sometimes is overlooked, but it's very accessible here. You can get access to silver because it's so readily available. You can actually have silver either stored for you, like in a vault where you can buy and they'll store it for you. Obviously, you can buy the physical coins as well. They tend to mine a lot of silver here in Mexico, so there are places to get that. And the next thing is the Mexican peso itself. So the Mexican peso has been one of the strongest performing currencies against the USD in the last few years. And in 2024, it was named the best performing currency in the world by Bloomberg, which is pretty darn cool. For those of you who like to hold currencies, this might be an interesting pick. Something you wouldn't think about every day, buying the Mexican peso. But hey, it's been performing quite well. Other opportunities for sure are in the stock market. So whether you're going to buy stocks here in Mexico, or there's some companies here that we're aware of that we're looking at potentially partnering with in the future that trade stocks for you. And because it's a little bit less regulated, there's access to opportunities and basically funds where you can invest your money, they'll trade it and actually diversify it between multiple countries' exchanges. But they're here in Mexico and they're paying taxes. It's legit, it's registered, they're paying taxes on your behalf for whatever the capital gains are. But some of those opportunities that we've come across that we're going to be putting our money into as well are paying as much as 25% after taxes. So they're actually they're grossing about 30 to 36% per year. So you're getting almost 25% APR after taxes, which is really, really cool. So those are some of the most commonly known, and in some cases not quite as commonly known, investment opportunities here in Mexico if you're looking to globally diversify. As always, book a consultation with us. If you're looking to take things further, if you're like, you know what, I want help with investments, I want to buy real estate, we're actually launching a real estate listing platform throughout all of Mexico, and we're going to be expanding that throughout the world as well in the next several months. But that's going to be on the horizon. So if you're looking at real estate, we're going to connect you with that platform. We're going to connect you with our independent real estate agents and advisors all throughout the country. And of course, there's so many other investment opportunities that are accessible here once you get your Mexican residency. So we can help you do that start to finish, fully white glove service. It's awesome. entrepreneurexpat.com/consult. You can chat with myself or my team. And we're looking forward to having you here. At the very least, make sure you check out that guide, that moving abroad checklist below that video, and go to entrepreneurexpat.com/consult if you want to book a call with our team. And we'll see you again very, very soon.